And good Friday morning. I was looking for extra temperature there as we begin today. 58 at Key Field and Meridian. We're showing 57 in the Bailey area this morning. Also showing some 57s around the area there, 56. Thank you to Corey. Appreciate you sending that in. It is a beautiful day, and we're all thankful to be a part of this, and I appreciate you joining us. We got a lot of headlines that have gone on over the last 24 hours in our area. We'll tell you what we know, and we'll look for other things to let you know about as well as the day progresses. All is innocent at this point. Don't we wish we could keep it just the way it is at this exact moment? But it's always ever-changing. Let's see here. We've already got folks up stirring in the Carthage area. Good morning to James Sullivan. Glad to see you there. Mike Dallas is up. Also, Terry Ray joins us there, waiting on that sunshine. Janice Bounds. Gloria Ming, how are you there on George Road? Also, Miss Humphreys, good morning from House Community. Anitra, glad to see you there. Let's start out with a few things that I do know. There was a car chase yesterday. Have you seen this? That went through the streets of Laurel, a possible kidnapping. And it was a car wreck involved with this. The person driving was injured, taken to the hospital. Kidnapping victim, the last I heard. And it was, again, a possible kidnapping. The Mississippi Highway Patrol were chasing this. I think the person in the passenger seat was okay. Still a developing story, but that happened there under the 16th Avenue overpass yesterday. Lost control, wrecked. We'll have to check back more on that in downtown Laurel. That was a pretty serious thing that went on there. Overnight, well, let's see. Yesterday afternoon, we did have reports of this. Shots fired, 20th Street. No one is injured. 42nd Avenue, 20th Street. There's a lot of that right in this area here, daily. Constantly, over and over, and you have to feel for the people that live in that area, that are there, that can't move anymore. Crime is taking those streets. One of those areas that definitely need, like, well, what do we think? 6 or 7 of those neighborhood watch programs. Not sure that would help. But an area of Meridian that is a great concern, all that area by Highland Park. Constantly something going on there. People that live in those communities being tormented by that. We do hope one day that the crime can be curbed in that area. Let's keep our fingers crossed. This came out yesterday afternoon. It's always scary when you get a call like this. Cracker Barrel. That was the scene as we go to show you a picture of what everything looked like yesterday afternoon. And that's not showing up as big as I thought it would. But here's the scene. Let me close this. It shows it a little bit better. Let's see. Let me go back to it. Why it jumped that way, I don't know. But 3 people were ran over in the parking lot of Cracker Barrel yesterday afternoon. I don't know if you've heard about this yet. Here's the scene of that situation there. At first, we were unsure that possibly somebody might have been backed into, but that was not the case. It was someone that was driving that had a medical condition that blacked out. And with that being said, when they blacked out, they bumped into 3 people. 2 females were transported to the hospital, possibly some broken bones. We're unsure of that. A male was also hit. He refused to go to the hospital. I think he had a scratch or 2. He's going to be okay. All of these are non-life-threatening from what I understand, but still being run over in the parking lot. Be careful. You don't always see these things. You're talking, you come across a parking lot, and the last thing you expect is for that to happen. Thank heavens this didn't end in another way. But we think about those. Hope they're doing okay this morning from those injuries yesterday. But that's what the talk was. We had a lot of questions about what went on with that yesterday, and as we finally get to the end of it, that's what happened, a blackout. The Meridian Police Department has let us know they have taken one into custody, a murder charge, as we go back to sammedia.network. Here it is. Kamion Land taken into custody has turned himself in as a $500,000 bond. He was wanted for a murder warrant in the custody of the Meridian Police Department now. We'll watch that case closely also and let you know what went on with that. Overnight, what happened in the streets of Meridian? Well, it was a foot chase. Well, let's go to the map. Let me show you where all this went to. As we go to the map here and look at this, this is going to be the marathon. This is if you were to get off the interstate here, I-20, and you come up past Cash Salvage, and you come to the red light there where this gas station sits. The Meridian Police Department was called for a suspicious person. As they arrived on scene, they asked the person for their license, their ID, and, well, I think the person might have fibbed as to who they were. They got a little nervous, and a foot chase soon began. It went down this way, and then due south. That's a pretty good foot chase if you're running all this with full gear being a police officer. And somewhere around here, a taser was deployed. The person was taken into custody without incident. Long foot chase. I would not be a great police officer. There's just no way. I can't run like that anymore. But thank heavens, police officer nor the victim was seriously injured in any of that, but he's been taken into custody. No reason given as to why he lied to the police officers as to who he was. Could have had something on him that he didn't want police to see. But that did happen overnight as you slept in the streets of Meridian. As we look around the state, here's something new that is coming out. A different tag is going to be offered to Mississippians, and it's going to be called the Blackout Plate Options. We'll have to get a picture of this from the Lauderdale County Courthouse so you can see this, but it'll be a black tag with white writing. The plate will cost $53 is what I'm talking about. No motorcycle options at this point, and this will go toward the state law enforcement and firefighter death trust funds, the benefits to help them. A great cause. So if you're wanting a blackout tag, the state of Mississippi is going to offer one of those. Should look good on a lot of cars. Find out more about that down at your local courthouse where you buy your tags, whatever county that may be. As we look to this probe, and I guess we have Chad White to thank for this, as we dig deeper and deeper as more names being brought up into this scandal that, robbed Mississippians of taxpayer dollars. It was first that Chad cracked this and said, hey, y'all owe some money. A Mississippi Welfare Agency ex-director now faces more charges. Have you heard about this? Well, as we look at this, he was the Department of Human Services director, and he's been indicted on 20 additional felony charges. That's a lot. It's all tied to him participating in the misusing of the money that was supposed to help the poorest of people in our state. Some was spent to send a former pro wrestler to a luxury drug rehab facility. Yeah, that's a new one. Didn't know about that. John Davis of Brookhaven has pleaded not guilty to the new charges of bribery, conspiracy, and making false statements to the government. We'll see what happens. And again, you are innocent until proven guilty. So he's innocent. We'll see how that goes. Also, in this same thing, Nancy and Zach New, does that name sound familiar? They were tied in with that private school. They have now pleaded guilty. They've got... here's the actual charges. They have pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which carries a sentence of up to 5 years in jail. They could all face fines of $250,000. Their sentencing will be before U.S. Court Judge Carlton Reeves, set in November of this year. Pretty big scandal. All of this stuff ties together as Chad White. He not only gets those that take the small amounts, he gets those, the white-collar crimes. And this is what all of this is, defrauding Mississippians. I'd say that boy does his job well. No word lately about Phil Bryant. I know that was brought up. His tie-in with all of this. State funds being used for things they shouldn't have. We'll watch that also. I was not aware of this. We mentioned that a lady's body was found yesterday in Gulfport. The police stumbled upon it. It was I believe she was 73 years old. 75-year-old Dorothy Jean Burks, her body was found. But what I didn't know about this is, y'all all heard the term the Cajun Navy. We first heard that when we saw the floodwaters there in Louisiana when they were searching for people, trying to get people rescued. They've got a pretty big network set up, and that's how this all came to be, of finding her body. They have a list of people that volunteer their time, and when you contact them, they reach out to people that live in your area that have volunteered their time, and that's how the Cajun Navy found her. Police had originally searched for this young lady, who's 75, in that area, didn't find anything. They had a retired police officer who went back, done more searching, and found her body. That's a good thing that the Cajun Navy is doing. I had no idea they'd done that. So support them when you can. That's a great thing. A little small police force there behind the scenes that does help Americans. Let's see, Pontotoc. We've all heard of Pontotoc. Have you seen this? This is, they've posted the picture of this. They're going to have a grant, and we go to Twitter. Let me show you this. This is the wall there in town. They're going to be, they're getting a grant to go towards redoing this mural. I can't say that, kid. I tried to pronounce that yesterday. But a lot of small town, Muriel. Did I say it right that time? I'll say more before it's over again. But hopefully they'll get this restored. They've got a grant to do that. I know before the building was torn down in my little hometown in Scuba there on the old Lion Theater, it had a Coca-Cola sign there that stood there for years. The building now long gone, and, well, future generations will never know what was there. But glad for them, saving a piece of history. Maybe your town has got one. Do a fundraiser, save these things so people can remember. Those were big back in the day. Starkville, Mississippi. A lot of us go to those football games up there at Mississippi State, and we heard a few months ago that they were going to start charging for parking in parts of Starkville. That's been put on hold. Why? Oh, they found a town ordinance where it said that parking had to be free. Some pause until they can change the law. You can bet your boots that they'll get it changed to where they can charge. Jackson, Mississippi, we go back there again for headlines this morning as the body of a 61-year-old lady, female, has been found. She was shot in the head in the 1300 block of Johnson Street in Jackson. How sad it is that this happens. State of Mississippi, crime-ridden Jackson. It just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? As we talked about this yesterday morning as we broaden and we step outside the city limits of or the state lines of Mississippi and we go to Tennessee. We told you that Oscar Smith was set for his execution last night in a murder that happened in 1989 in Tennessee. Right before he was to be put to death, he had already had his last meal. It was stopped due to a complication with the lethal injection that he was going to be given. They have not rescheduled it yet. It was going to happen around 5:46, and it was stopped right around 6 o'clock was when it was supposed to take place. It had his meal at about 4:15, an hour or so beforehand. It was stopped just before it happened. It will be rescheduled. Still the oldest person on death row, so I guess he'll get his last meal twice. Do you see where Sean Hannity broke this record? Pretty big feat. It will be hard to break mentally the barrier, although he's on paper broke it, because back in the day, years ago, when you only had really one big news network, you saw Larry King more than anybody when you turned on cable news. He was just known as the guy that had been there forever. Well, Larry held the record for being on television the longest. Yesterday, Sean Hannity broke that record by being at least one day more. He is now the longest broadcast person in news on cable news. So congratulations to Sean Hannity. He's good at what he does, and he'll be there quite some time more. I think it's maybe because they used Larry King a lot in the movies. Do y'all remember that during the 80s and 90s? If there was a breaking news story that they wanted to show in a movie feature, they always had Larry King in the background. Maybe that's what's set in my head. Did you see where there was a plane crash yesterday in Georgia near the General Mills plant? They don't know how many was on board. It was a small plane that crashed near the General Mills facility. All on board or dead is all they know. More details of this will come out. This was near the Atlanta area. As we look at the pictures of this is the black smoke boiling up from that plane crash. No word yet as to how the plane crash happened. I'm sure they know more than we do at this point. As soon as that comes about, we'll pass along that information to you. I wasn't aware of this, but over in Alabama, the Louisiana lieutenant governor has a home. It was broken into. Someone tried to set it on fire. They've made an arrest of that. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but they caught him. That's good. As we watch this New York thing, are y'all keeping up with this? I know a lot of you are off on the Johnny Depp thing. That's deep every day. I can't even keep up with it. It's so wild. But it's on TV every day. It'll be coming back on before long. The handyman that has killed this New York City Queen's mother appeared in court. Here's the guy there is accused of killing this lady. Have you seen him? He's already admitted to it. 62 times he stabbed this lady. As you dig deeper into this, and I don't know if her husband was aware of it, she's admitted to, well, actually they found, I think there's a better way to word it, several affairs in that. As you look at this, here he is being escorted out. He was the handyman. Just handy to be around, I guess. Here's something serious. We don't know much, but the CDC is issuing an alert as it widens its probe into the mystery hepatitis outbreak, which sent scores of kids in the U.S. and the UK stricken with unexplained liver inflammation. We'll watch this story as more develops on that across the land. We'll tell you. That's scary. We don't know much, but the CDC is putting it out there. The next big headline, and of course, if you watched anything on Fox News last night, they had a big grin. And you wonder why. Well, they joked and laughed. Even Greg Gutfeld poked fun at it. CNN launched a $300 million, that's a lot of money, $300 million, basically what I do here, as I bring you the news, not on television all the time, but through streaming. They launched a $300 million streaming news service. And they took Chris Wallace from Fox News and put him at the helm of it, the face of it. It has flopped. They are closing it after, 3 weeks? $300 million. They've got egg on their face, without a doubt. They had 150,000. Again, this is nationwide. They had hoped to be in the 6-7 million subscribers into this, people following it. Only 150,000 people were following them. In the big scheme of things in the nation, that's no one. It is over, and, well, investors are out a lot of money, a whole bunch. Do you remember the 87-year-old elderly lady that was pushed? She later died. She was a music composer. She was 87 years old. Do y'all remember that? They have finally brought the New York City event planner, who was 26 years old, who pushed her in front of the grand jury. Here's her picture. She's been indicted. Murder. Real rich kid. One of those that, how do you describe those people? I don't know what you call them, leftists, but really get involved, activists maybe. Push this lady for no reason. Sad that we live in a world that others want to hurt them. We see this in these big cities a lot, to where they want to push the elderly in front of trains, push them down, knock them down. We had a lady that was pushed down some stairs, hit her head, and she was killed by it. Hopefully she will be made an example of. She's been one of those that's been handed everything in her life. Let's hope the judges make an example of this. So it will teach those not to ever do this. We cannot allow people to hurt the innocent elderly. It's not right. America needs to step up and make examples of these people. We certainly hopes that this will be taken care of. More on the way. We're going to look at your weather forecast here in just a moment. What is the weekend going to bring? I've got all the details for you next, so don't rush off. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike and Jake have years of experience of dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel. Mark your calendars for the Spring Extravaganza Show coming Saturday, April 23rd, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a brand new location at the old Office Max building at Bonita Lake Circle. From boutique clothes, shoes and accessories, children's clothing, spring plants, jewelry, gift items. Come shop and have lunch with Jack's Sausage Dogs. The Spring Extravaganza Gift Show, Saturday, April the 23rd from 9 until 4 at the old Office Max building in Meridian. Call Becky at 601-480-1776. 6:49 as we head towards 7 o'clock, if you've got to be somewhere by 7 this morning. We say a good morning to Chris Reed, who's joining in this morning. Glad to see you there. Donna Roseman. Jane Harding, how are you? Donna Sims watching us from Philadelphia. Daniel Skipper, also Clarence Westbrook. Good morning there. Janet Cooper, she's watching us there from Miss Mars, watching us there from Philadelphia. And she says Philadelphia has several of those, plural. I do hope somebody saves those. We don't need to lose these signs that are on these buildings all across America. They've done a good job downtown Meridian there on one of the hotels there. Beautiful. It's a part of history that we need to save. I know times change and electronics make things great, but we got a lot of great things to save from our past, too. Never forget, we do learn from our past. Some are good, some are bad. But you can't erase it. You won't learn anything. I think most of us know that. It's just a few and select that don't get it. We need to educate them. We'll try, won't we? All right, let's turn our thoughts to weather. Let's see what's going to happen today and into the weekend.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
1955, they were getting ready to roll that Chevrolet off the assembly line, the Bel Air. It'd be a popular one. It would be the hottest day that we had set on record. 91 today. Was set back in 1955. Our coldest date, well, I don't guess it was that long ago, but then again, I guess it was. 1993, a record low of 35 was set on this date. Y'all remember that? I was here, but Lord, I don't remember that. Must have been cold, though. As we look at today's forecast, sunshine is what we'll get. And we'll get into the fog here in a moment with radar to show you where it is right now. Sunshine and 85 in downtown Meridian, out by Keyfield and all through the downtown area as you go past the post office. We'll get 85 as well up Philadelphia, on up through Highway 15 as we reach into Winston County and up to Starkville. About 84 today. Out to our west in Vicksburg and Jackson, a warm 85. Down to the south, we'll get 85 as well in Hattiesburg and those areas there. So it's a nice-looking day throughout the state. As we go across to Alabama, pretty much ditto. Birmingham, 84. Tuscaloosa will hit 85. Clanton, 82. As we go to Livingston, we're looking at about 84 there in Livingston, Alabama. So it'll be nice weather for you there all throughout the state of Alabama. Nothing to worry about. What's going to happen over the next few days? As we see these cool mornings, they could start disappearing. Look at this headed our way from Texas and Arizona. Warmer weather as it makes its way across the U.S. That's warm. It's coming. As we look at our 7-day forecast, here we go as we watch this. Again, today, 85. Now, again, as I mentioned, we're going to have fog this morning through about 8 a.m. Keep that in mind. The wind is going to die down today, even better. Tonight, we'll get down to 57, just a tad cooler than it was this morning. We started out at 60, and then it's dropped a little bit there coming up on daylight. As we roll into tomorrow morning, the gust will return. We'll have about 20-mile-an-hour gust tomorrow, but look at the sunshine, 85. A gorgeous day into Saturday night with a low of about 59. We roll into Sunday as we all go to church and try to sing, even if we're off key. It's okay, so long as you try. 84 will be our temperature. Now, Monday rolls about with a little bit different. Looks like a 60% chance of showers rolling into the forecast on Sunday. Some of them could be thunderstorms, but we are not getting any severe weather with it. We may have a downpour here and there, but nothing to be concerned about. It will pass. As we get into Monday night, 57. A little bit cooler because of that rain, 75 on Tuesday. Still a slight chance of rain there as we roll into the early part of Tuesday. And by Wednesday, the temperatures start warming back up. We hit that 78, 82 by Thursday. Let's go ahead further into the month, another week. Through May the 6th. May is that close. Can you believe that? We'll get into those big 80s there. Around 86, 87, right at the first, and a couple of days right at the 80-degree mark. But make for sure that we're reaching that where we won't see 70 much anymore in these highs. We're that close to getting there. Before long, we're a little over a month away before hurricane season kicks in. We're still holding on to this tornado season. It's not over yet. Don't discount it. April through the end of April and May is still in there. Still chances in June, but the high risk is April and May. As we look at your fishing forecast, let's go back and take a look at what it has. Chet's Paint and Body tells us, well, time to fish this morning. About right now until about 8:30 this morning is perfect to be on the water. What will the wind do today? It's going to be light east, southeast wind, becoming southeast 5 to 10 this morning. So if that doesn't confuse you, let's just tell you there's going to be 5 to 10 miles an hour. It will change directions. In the end, become southeast. So if you're going to be fishing, that's what it's labeled as today. Do hope your day is starting out well. Good to see everybody as we start this. Laura Lee, how are you doing? Hope you're well there. Please go away bad weather. I'm with you on that. Vanessa Winstead joins us. Also, Jeanette Mars. Beth Vick is there. A lot of folks there. Georgia Henson. Nana Waya joining us there. Miss Jennifer Drury. Good to see you. Joyce Poole. A lot of people. We'd love to see you. We're coming back at 8. We'll go deeper into all of the subjects that are going on in our area as Candace will be here with me. Get a lady's perspective on all of this. It begins at 8. You can watch us here. You can even join us over on Twitter. We're there also. Make sure to join us as well there on YouTube. A great way to watch as well. A backup plan for you if you have not subscribed to us there. Like, subscribe, and follow there on YouTube. It's a way to make sure that you get the show regardless of where you are and what you're doing. In case, well, you're putting time out on Facebook or something. You never know. Join us there. We'll be back soon. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for joining me this morning. Can't do it without you. We'll see you in just an hour and 3 minutes from now as we'll go live once again. See you soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: